Guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I will be reviewing a product that has been kind of hyped up pretty recently. It is going to be Tarte Shape Tape's rival, which is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Conceal and Contour. So this is what this concealer looks like, and I love the packaging first and foremost on this. It's rose gold with the, the clear component so you can see the color. I think it's really cute, but I will compare this to the Tarte Shape Tape, which is this product right here. I'm sure we all know, because we all know and love Tarte Shape Tape. This has been ruling the concealer world for like a year or two now. So if you don't know what this is, you've definitely been living under a rock. I'm gonna compare these two just like side by side so you guys can kind of see what they look like. The Makeup Revolution is definitely like significantly smaller than the Tarte Shape Tape, and you do get less product in the Makeup Revolution. You get, how much do you get in here? 0.11 fluid ounces, and in the Tarte Shape Tape you get 0.338 fluid ounces. So you are getting more in the Tarte Shape Tape. This is only $7 compared to like almost $30 for this. I don't remember exactly how much this is now. Like, I remember when this first came out in the market and it was maybe like $20. I think it's like 28 or something like that now. Like, Tarte is getting wild. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. If you have been out of the loop recently with this whole Tarte drama, I'm not gonna get too much into it because this video is not about the Tarte Shape Tape foundation. It is about the concealer and what is dupeable to it. I'm gonna put any kind of feelings that I have right now towards Tarte aside and just kind of give you guys my opinion on something that is dupeable to the Shape Tape, because I know a lot of people after this whole controversy are not wanting to support Tarte as a brand at the moment. So going forward, if this turns out to be an awesome product, we will be saving coin and we will be getting something that's comparable to the Shape Tape. So with all that being said, I'm going to give you guys a little bit about the product. I already told you guys how many ounces are in each of these, so I'm gonna kind of give you guys a deeper look into what the applicators look like. So they're both doe foot applicators. The Makeup Revolution applicator is a little longer and skinnier than the Tarte, where that one is a little shorter and fatter. So hopefully you guys can see this right here. I like to compare smells, but alright, so the Tarte one, I feel like it has a little bit more of a pleasant smell than the Makeup Revolution. This one kind of smells a little bit more chemically, almost kind of like paint, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, it almost kind of smells like paint. It's very, very, very faint, but definitely when you're putting it this close up to your nose, you're gonna smell like the paint smell. But the Tarte Shape Tape definitely smells a little better than the Makeup Revolution, I will say that much. And then as far as like consistency, I'm just gonna swatch myself really quickly. So here are the two colors side by side. Up here, you're gonna see the Makeup Revolution. This is in the shade C8, and then down here is the Tarte Shape Tape in the color light medium. I did pick the Makeup Revolution one offline because it hasn't launched in stores yet in the US. I believe it doesn't launch until February 4th, if I'm not mistaken. I will write the actual launch date down below in the description bar so you can check that out a little later on. But C8 was the one that I thought that was the most comparable to light medium. And looking at it side by side, I mean, they're pretty close, but C8 is definitely like a tint darker than light medium. So definitely when it launches in store, I'm definitely going to go back to Ulta and see if I can pick up a shade or two that's lighter than the C8 and see how that compares to light medium in the Shape Tape. Now, the Makeup Revolution concealer actually comes in 18 different shades, and if I'm not mistaken, there will be more coming, so you can be on the lookout for that. But their shade range is awesome. They have such a nice shade range from very fair to very dark, and then with the other shades being added into there, like, it's just gonna be unmatched, honestly. So it's definitely gonna be something for Tarte to kind of shake in their boots for a little bit. But on the Ulta website, the description says, only at Ulta, Makeup Revolution's Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealing Contour is designed for long-lasting coverage. Conceal and define your look with this ultra blendable formulation. And that's the only description that it has on there. And then of course it lists all the ingredients. And like I said, they are $7, so it's Definitely a lower price point than the Tarte Shape Tape. If this was the other way around, I would just stick with the C8 and call it a day, girl, because ain't nobody gonna be wasting hella money on no concealer. But I'm gonna just kind of like tap them out and kind of see what they look like blended out. Now keep in mind, this is usually not how I'm like blending out my concealer, you know, on an everyday basis on my face, but I just want to see how they feel and kind of how they look once they are blended out, like the finish. Okay, so yeah, blend it out. I'm gonna try and see if you guys can't even see anything on camera if I do this. Up here, like I said, is the Makeup Revolution, and down here is the Shape Tape. This is definitely more my color than the C8 on my wrist anyway. You know, anything down here is like, doesn't really matter what's going on up here because you're gonna match your face to your neck, not to your wrist. But I mean, they look pretty similar. Like, again, the smell definitely went away. But you can smell the Tarte Shape Tape because that's a little bit stronger of a scent than the Makeup Revolution. But once you blend out the Makeup Revolution, the scent does go away, which is great for anyone that is like sensitive to smells or anything like that. Thankfully, I'm not. Once they're blended out, honestly, they look the exact same. Like, they're both matte. I feel like the Makeup Revolution is a little bit more hydrating. It's definitely way more lightweight than the Tarte, but the Tarte is a little bit, like, probably like a tad bit more opaque. But I mean, for $7, you can't beat the coverage. Alright, so now that I have kind of given you guys a little bit of an overview on the Makeup Revolution concealer as compared to the Tarte Shape Tape, I'm going to hop into the actual demonstration. So if you want to see how these two blend out and they wear, please stay tuned. Okay, so I think the way that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do the Makeup Revolution concealer on one side, and then I'm going to use my handy dandy Tarte Shape Tape on another side, and then we will kind of compare them and see how they wear throughout the day. I'm going to first start off with the Makeup Revolution. Let's see, I'm just going to do what I usually do and just kind of sweep it right under the under eye. That's about the amount of product that I usually always use with Shape Tape, and then I will do it down the bridge of my nose, on my chin a little bit, and on my cupid's bow. So since I already know how the Shape Tape performed on those areas, I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution instead. So I'm just going to dip a little bit back in and sweep it down the bridge of my nose, here and here. Alright, so now that that's on, I'm going to go ahead and use my Shape Tape in the color light medium, and I'm going to put this right on my left eye. And right off the bat, I can already tell the Shape Tape is way more brightening than the Makeup Revolution. Let's blend this out and see what happens. So since I put the Makeup Revolution on first, I'm going to blend that out first. And I always bring it, whatever's left, just like sweep it on my eye when I'm not wearing any shadow or anything like that, just so my eyelids can be seamless with the rest of my face. Like, I used to always leave my eyelids bare, like with no product, whenever I wasn't wearing any eyeshadow, and like it was like, looking back, it just looks so crazy. I don't know what I was thinking. Alright, so off the bat, I can already tell the product kind of like dried almost, like while it was sitting and I was applying the rest of it, because I mean, I feel like I can see kind of like a ring, like where it started drying right around the edges here. Like, I feel like I can see a line almost of product that like was stuck on my face and like wouldn't blend out, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. Alright, so let's blend out the Shape Tape and then we'll compare the two sides. Okay, right now I can tell definitely which side is the Shape Tape and which side is the Makeup Revolution, just because the Shape Tape offered a little bit more coverage and it was a brighter color than the Makeup Revolution. So I mean, right off the bat, like, I can tell. I don't know if it's coming off on camera, but I'm gonna actually go in with just a little bit more of the Makeup Revolution because of the fact that I don't know what's going on like right around this little area. So we're just gonna try and see what happens when I put a little bit more on and then blend it out. So let's do that. Okay, so now judging after I put the second layer of concealer, it might have just been my error. I might have just let it sit there for a little too long because that second layer did cover up what I was talking about, that little ring that started drying. So I would recommend, if you are going to be using this product, that you do work quickly because it does seem to dry a little fast. Comparing it right now before it's powdered to the Shape Tape, can't even tell. I'm impressed. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and powder now. And what I'm going to use to powder my concealer is the Kat Von D translucent powder. This is the Lock It setting powder. And I love this powder for under the eyes, not so much around the whole face. I usually use my Laura Mercier to powder the rest of my face just because I feel like the Kat Von D powder for concealer setting, like, it's just like amazing. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It just like gives such a smooth base, because I will go ahead and powder all the areas that I concealed with a brush, and then I'm gonna go and use my beauty blender to kind of melt the powder into the concealer. So like, I feel like with that combination with this powder, it's just so smooth and like looks so good. And I usually like do this pretty quick. Like, I can see my eyes like creasing a little bit right here just because I took so long from talking. But usually when I powder right away after I blend out my concealer, like, I have no issues with this powder. Now I'm gonna take my beauty blender and just melt it all in. Since mine is still a little damp, I didn't really need to put any more spray or like wet it again. But if you find that by the time you get to this step, if you do choose to set your concealer this way, if your sponge is kind of dry, just like spray it a few times with some setting spray, or just like run it under the faucet again, just to make sure it's still a little damp, because that's what's really going to make the powder blend really nicely into the concealer. Looking really good. I'm surprised. I'm actually kind of shook at how nicely this Makeup Revolution is looking. You really can't tell there's a difference. Like, me up close, just because I know what's going on my face, I know that this is the Makeup Revolution side. I feel like it didn't provide as much of a smooth base as the Tarte Shape Tape, just because like, I'm used to that formula and I know what it looks like, I know how it performs. But I mean, that's just because I know what's going on. I feel like if a random person off the street were to look at me and didn't know, they wouldn't be able to tell. Like, I would think that it's dupeable. I don't want to speak too soon, but I definitely want to say that it's definitely dupeable to the Tarte Shape Tape. So I am pleased for sure. I wonder if I get a lighter color, maybe if I go like a shade or two up in the Makeup Revolution, if it will come out looking like a Tarte Shape Tape color-wise. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and powder the rest of my face and do the rest of my makeup off camera, and I will be back in 2 seconds. Alright, so here is the final product. I went ahead and did my entire face off camera, and honestly, like, just like looking at my face as a whole and looking at my under eye concealer, I'm really pleased with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. Like, this is amazing. And I'm gonna do some check-ins throughout the day. I did get a really late start to today, so I'm not gonna get like a full day's wear out of this concealer, but with the few hours that I am gonna be wearing it, I will let you guys know how I feel at the end of it. I will see you guys at the next check-in. I am back, and it is about 7:45 my time right now. I realized throughout the day that I never told you guys what time it was that I actually started this video and put the concealer on, which was about 2 o'clock. So now at this point, I've had this concealer on for about 5 and some change hours. I think that's enough time for me to have formulated an opinion on how I feel about it. I love it. Honestly, I really love it. I'm really impressed that this product is literally only $7 and it's holding up really freaking well. So, I mean, giving it like a really up close look, I feel like it really only like kind of wore down right in like the folds of my under eye, which, I mean, it's happening over here too. That happens to me always. It's just how my skin reacts. Like throughout the day, my concealer will usually always, like, you know, start creasing up just a tad and kind of wearing down right in the folds of my under eye. That's just what happens to me. So like, I don't think that's really a big deal. But honestly, like, looking at the two of them side by side, I'm really happy with the performance of the Makeup Revolution concealer. Like, I definitely recommend to anybody who is on a budget, or, you know, whatever your reasons might be. Maybe you don't want to try the Shape Tape because of all of the stuff that's going on with them right now, but if you're looking for like a really lower price point alternative to Shape Tape, I definitely recommend this Makeup Revolution concealer. The only thing that I will say about it, like even like here on the bridge of my nose, the Tarte Shape Tape usually kind of gets really oily, like right here, even though I do set it, but this one, it's holding up really well. I'm surprised. The only thing I will say is that right around my chin area where I did place the concealer and set it, it's doing this really weird thing where it kind of looks like the desert. Like, you know, when you see those pictures of the desert, it's like super dry. That's kind of what is going on my chin right now. But I mean, that just might be, again, because my skin is kind of dry right now. But yeah, honestly, like overall, I'm really pleased with this product. Like, I definitely recommend. It does look just like a tad bit drier over here than it does on the Tarte side, but that's really not anything that's super noticeable unless you get really close in with a mirror. So yeah, I mean, this is an A+ in my book, honestly. Like, $7, you can't beat that at all compared to what, like almost 30. I'm not mad at it. Save your coin, buy yourself the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and call it a day. But yeah, so that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know if you want to see something specific down below in the comments. Make sure you subscribe before you leave. That subscribe button is right over here. Hit that button, like this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.